Hello, and a warm welcome to the AGEM project from the Developing World E4A team, comprising Summer Singh and Brian Robertson. Summer, perhaps we could begin by expanding on the acronym AGEM.
Thanks, Brian. AGEM stands for a Generalized Education Metastructure. We want to work with thousands of schools to help them invigorate their own systems. A landmark report from McKinsey is titled How the World's Most Improved School Systems Keep Getting Better talks about how education reform strategy has to be adapted to the stage the school is at. Of the 4 stages, the greatest need is for the weakest stage, the ones on journey from poor to fair.
Okay. Would you say then that there is any objective evidence that the Indian K-12 education system is at the poor end of the spectrum?
Brian, the recent PISA test showed 2 of our best states for K-12 education were 2nd and 3rd from the bottom among 74 countries.
So, would you say then that there is a systemic overarching solution we are going for?
In very broad terms, our strategy is to reduce the variation in the bell curve of student performance and at the same time start moving the whole curve to the right, as you can see here. This can result in a reducing gap between the best and the worst students and an increasing performance from all students. Actually, teaching is a bit like acting in a film. People don't expect the actor to write the script, prepare the props, direct the show, and critique it at the end. Teachers do all this every day of their lives for relatively slow salaries. AGEM aims to provide the resource base so teachers can focus on facilitation.
So, could we identify some strategic goals that the AGEM system can work towards?
In general, we have 3 principal strategic goals. The first is to develop inferential capacity in students so they can apply what they've learned to new circumstances. The second is to develop decision-making ability. In most of our target schools, children are rarely engaged in making decisions, and in many ways, making competent decisions is a differentiator between a child and an adult. Finally, we aim to build a sense of participative decision-making. This reflects real-life issues which apply in a family as much as apply in a community. They invariably involve listening to and understanding others' points of view, presenting persuasive arguments, and making needed compromises through dialogue.
What would you say is unique about the overall design?
Firstly, it's to design topic plans with embedded questions which are created to both aid learning through differentiated instruction and measure learning against specified goals. Secondly, it's due to the feedback devices which are full keyboards whose 2 batteries last for years. That's important in the Indian context. Thirdly, it is in the performance database of responses to every question that is answered. These are analyzed and form the basis for reports and guidance to students, teachers, parents, and schools. Fourthly, it's due to the rich and varied representations of responses which really create the learning moments, in our opinion. Finally, it is because we are measuring performance every session, but sustaining the dignity of students by keeping their performance confidential.
And what evidence is there that AGEM is promoting learning? In particular, is there a spillover impact into subjects that are not taught?
To measure impact, we conduct a pilot study at the Maria Niketan School in Bangalore, which caters to children from economically weaker segments. I'll quickly take you through 3 types of impact we got. The experimental group comprised 13 boys and 9 girls. Age on average, 11.8 years. Total contact time, less than 36 hours over 4 months, with less than 19 hours spent on 5 topic plans. The outcomes of our analysis of the embedded questions shows an increase in class average scores with each topic plan and a decrease in the gap between the highest and lowest student scores. This leads to the narrowing of the bell curve and the movement of the mean to the right. In this case, we are looking at the results of the school end-of-term exams based on their own syllabus. We see an expected difference in average group scores between the group we taught and the rest of the class. But we see a smaller effect also in the science and English scores which represent the spillover.
We thank you for your attention.